What's good, NBA family? Today's Saturday, November 23rd, week 5 of the NBA. As always, I'm your host, John. Very happy to be here, man. If you're a returner, it's good to see you. If you new, make sure you smash that subscribe button and join the family, man. But let's go ahead and get straight into it, man. Week 5, NBA is in full swing. And I got one of the homies here, man. But outside of, Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner and where I talk basketball online, this is who I talk basketball with most. My dog Eshawn in the building. My dog, how you doing?
Good, bro. How about you? I've just been injured this whole time, so I'm just chilling at home because I'm on home rest for now.
Okay. But we've been watching a lot of games though, huh? Because
Yeah,
you can't go hoop yourself.
yeah. I got a lot of downtime, so I'm just trying to catch up on every game I can.
I feel that, brother. I feel that. Well, you are in a great time to do that, man. November is a peak of basketball. Got so many damn games every single day. So this is a lot for us to get into, brother. Well, and in this episode, we're gonna get straight into it, man. We're gonna start with some news around the league. I guess I want to start with some of the newest news we've seen. That's the new All Star format. They changed it up in past years, so now there's going to be 24 players. The players are going to split up into 4 teams of 8. There's going to be 3 All-Star teams, and then the winner of the Rising Stars game, that's going to be the fourth All-Star team, and then those teams would face each other in the semifinal games. And the games are going to go up to 40, and then the winner advanced to the finals, and then that game of the finals is up to 25 points. I think this is absolutely terrible. I don't know what you think of it, but give me your thoughts on this. I don't even understand it.
I mean, the Rising Stars team, whoever wins that game is about to get smashed. I would think so. But like, I understand what they're trying to do because they've been complaining for years about the quality of play because they're just like mind my language, they're just half-assing the games all the time. So I mean, they're trying to switch it up a bit, but I don't know if this is the right approach. I would just have stick to the normal thing, but just play a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just give
Uh,
more effort from the players and things. Is that what you mean?
yeah. I don't like the Rising Stars winner type team. I liked it where it was like, just two teams going at it, but like actually competing, like how it used to be in like the early 2000s and before. But now
Yeah,
now now they don't play it like that.
I remember those All Star games when Kobe and Bronny said they actually started turning up in the fourth quarter. But yeah, no, I feel you, brother. So I mean, hey, let's see if this is a good change. I don't know how you feel about the whole like NBA Cup and the in season tournament and
I
all
mean,
that, but
yeah, when the in-season tournament and like NBA Cup or whatever, like first released, I thought it was like, a bad idea. But like
mhm,
I don't know what you think about it. I thought it was like good execution, like because it made players want to play harder. I'm pretty sure it gave them more ratings. Uh, and like it it seems like a good idea right now to me. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but like, it actually means something. But will it mean something in the All-Star game? I don't know.
yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I was gonna get at, right? Is like I think, with the NBA Cup edition, it tried to give them a perspective of let's add something that's meaningful to this. Maybe them doing this with the All-Star game will do the same thing, but we will see, brother, because this is the first year. But let's keep it pushing. Let's continue to talk about some news around the league, brother. And since you're here, and for everyone that doesn't know my dog Eshawn is a Mavs fan. We're gonna touch on a lot of Mavs. So let's touch on some of the latest news we've seen here in Dallas, and that is Luka Doncic out for at least a week with a wrist injury. It says he's going to be retested in 5 games. So he's going to miss the Nuggets game, the Heat game, the Hawks game, the Knicks, and the Utah Jazz game. So Ishan, as a Mavericks fan, how are you feeling about this Luka, I guess, week injury?
I ain't gonna lie, I'm like kind of like on the fence with Luca right now. I mean, I told you before that like the Mavs kind of play better without Luca. Um, I mean, they beat the Thunder without him, and they beat the Nuggets last night without him. And it's I don't know if it's Luca per se the problem. I just think he's off to a bad start. He's been playing injured this whole time. Even in last year's finals, he was playing hurt.
Yeah.
Um, like he had a bunch of injuries. I don't know if he's fully healed from that or he's just tired. I don't know, but he's just not off to that good of a start this season. And I said it after the postseason. Like, if he wanted to be that guy, he needs to be that guy now. Um, this should have been a statement year for him so far. I mean, it hasn't been a year for him right now, but like it should have, at least for MVP. He should have, I think he's been favored to win MVP every season, like probably since his like third season or whatever, and he hasn't won it yet. But I think that he would have turned up this season, but so far that hasn't been the case, and they lost four straight. When Kyrie wasn't playing, they lost to Utah, and I blamed Luca on that the whole game, because his defense was so bad, so atrocious. And I know for a fact if Kyrie played and Luca didn't, they probably would have won that game. So it's
Okay.
just yeah, I don't know what to say really.
So
I mean,
let me ask you this, because so I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with the take that the Mavs are better without Luca, but for somebody out there that's listening at home and they hear that take, that might sound crazy. So can you like
yeah,
explain that and or talk about like how where you get that reasoning from that?
I mean, it's just like I don't like Harden, right? So
Yeah,
it's just like the Luca slash Harden ball. It's just too much pounding the
ISO
ball.
ball, too much
Yeah,
ISO centric.
it's like he's the highest usage rate type of player in the league. But maybe I know I'm stretching a bit. He's probably just not healthy. But yeah, like Kyrie. When I was watching the Nuggets game last night, one thing I noticed that he scored 15 in the first half. Right, there was up 20. Right, but he scored only 4 points in the first second half, and they still ended up winning, even though the Nuggets ended up coming back. So he was just being. He didn't have to do too much. Like, yeah, if he wanted to turn up, he could. But the fact that they won without him, not even scoring 20 points, kind of showed me something because he wasn't that aggressive in the first half. I mean, second half, and then the team has just all popped off. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I feel like uh, more of the team has got the shine in that game.
Got you, got
Yeah,
you. And you think if Luca's not there, the team could shine to the point where you actually think the team could be better? Because I agree with you, as in the sense of Luca is very ball dominant, heliocentric offense. But at the end of the day, Luka Doncic is such a generationally great basketball player that 9 times out of 10, him being ball dominant, a good possession is coming out of it, whether it's him scoring or whether it's him getting the lively lob or whether it's him getting the open look in the corner. He's making the right decision almost 9 times out of 10.
yeah.
Granted, there is that times where he makes the wrong decision, but that's why I want to know, like, I hear what you're saying, brother, and him being very heliocentric. But to say that the Mavs would be better without Luca, now I think that one's personally was a stretch.
I Let me rephrase that. They're just playing better without him right now.
Okay, okay,
And
gotcha.
because with him in the lineup, like he just looked so bad on both sides of the floor. He was inefficient, and they lost four in a row at one point without him, all in clutch time that they should have won. That Utah game to me was just, I was just appalled, man. Like, just seeing that the way, like Utah hadn't won a game at home at all up to that point, and they just lost to Utah. So it's just kind of it was kind of crazy to see.
Okay,
Um,
I feel you. I feel you.
yeah.
Okay, so then last question, then we'll move on to the other injury. So you have the Nuggets, you have the Heat, you have the Hawks, you have the Knicks, and you have the Jazz. Those are these 5 games without Luca. What's your record after these 5 games, or how many of these five do you win?
So we beat the Nuggets.
Okay.
The Heat are next.
Yes, Nuggets and then Heat.
Okay, I think we can beat the Heat because um they haven't been playing that well without with Jimmy. Like it's like without Jimmy, they've been playing all right. They beat
Mhm.
Minnesota without Jimmy, and they beat Indiana without Jimmy. Who's next?
The Hawks.
Okay. Fuck, man. We should be able to beat the Hawks, so maybe I'm gonna change the Heat to an L. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay.
So that's
And
2-1, and
and
then
then the Knicks,
yeah, we'll probably lose to them.
and then Utah.
We should beat them this time.
You guys should beat them this time.
I'm gonna
Okay.
say 3-2.
Okay, I like that. I like that. All right. I respect that, brother. But let's talk about another injury because this is a unfortunate situation, but we have to talk about it, man. It's
Yep.
super unfortunate because of the potential that there is in Philly. But Tyrese Maxey, man, makes his first game back the other day. Sixers big three, first game, you're excited to see it, right? And then boom, Paul George hyperextends his left knee, leaves the game, and doesn't come back. This season so far, brother, the 76ers big three has played 6 minutes together so far. I mean, PG got hurt in the preseason, missed the first couple of games of the regular season, came back, hyperextended his knee, came back, and then hyperextended the other knee again. This guy cannot stay healthy. It's wild. It's wild.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. This kind of reminds me of like the Brooklyn Nets team that like barely played at all the whole season and got healthy towards the playoffs and then got swept by Boston, right?
Yep, yep.
Was that the year?
I believe that was that the year that KD's foot was on the line, right?
Oh, that was a Milwaukee year. The year
Yeah,
Milwaukee won. Okay, so that was that. I mean, this team has so much potential, but if they're barely gonna get minutes together, it's not gonna work,
it's
man.
not gonna
You
work,
need
man.
chemistry. I still feel like they're gonna make a run at some point. Um, I mean, Embiid should play, right?
Yeah, I mean
Uh,
he came back and he was playing, but
he,
then now
he
he's
didn't
hurt again.
he didn't play last night. I mean, he got hit in the face, right?
Yeah,
But
he did.
he didn't play last night against Brooklyn, and they beat Brooklyn. I mean, it's Brooklyn, but they've been pretty solid this year to start. Uh, but yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like they're gonna make a little run at some point. Maybe they'll be a play-in team and just get canned over there. But yeah, I don't see them
Okay.
doing much because you need reps to really get far in the playoffs.
I agree. I agree. And honestly, brother, that is a great transition to our first official segment of the show here. And that is the up or down segment. For this, brother, I have a statement here. I will say it, and you let me know if you're up on it, meaning you agree, or if you are down. And for everybody at home, if you guys want to play along, please drop your comments in the comment section down below, or just, play along as you're listening. Let me know if you're up or down on this statement. But my first up or down statement for you is the 76ers will make the playoffs. Are you up or are you down on it? I'm glad we just talked about it.
Oh my gosh, dude. I'm gonna lean towards up. I'm gonna say they'll probably make a 7 or 8 seed
Oh, okay.
because they
All
have
right.
time,
Talk to
man.
me.
Like the East is so bad that they can, probably make a run at some point.
That is true. That is one thing that I had to keep in mention is the fact that the East is really bad. So
Yeah,
what a team could do in the West versus what a team could do in the East. A team might miss the playoffs in the West, might miss the play-in versus in the East. He might be able to stay alive.
yeah.
But as far as this question, I'm not gonna lie, brother. I'm down on it, and here's why. I mean, it's very disappointing because of the potential. Their big three, man. You get Joel Embiid, you get Tyrese Maxey coming up, then you get the vet in Paul George. But I think it's time to be real about them, man. And there's no hope for them. And not only because of the consistent injuries, but it's because of the leak that they had in that locker room team meeting. There's absolute no more trust in that locker room, bro. No one knows who it was. How can you build trust? Everyone has came out and said, yeah, this team meeting was all players, coaches, and everyone who was important to this organization. Well, the information that got out that was spot on exactly. I mean, shout out Paul George, Podcast P. He confirmed it. He basically said that the leak was true and everything that they said was spot on. So, to me, it's like, damn, not only do you have these consistent injuries, but now you have no trust within your locker room. You don't know if it was Joel Embiid himself or if it was friggin' the coach, right? You don't know
Is
who
it
it was.
is it the leak about the players only meeting?
Yes, about them, but not only the fact that the meeting happened because the coach came out and said, "Oh, we had a meeting," but what was said in the meeting and the fact that Joel Embiid got called out for him
Yeah,
not
I
being
know
coming
that.
early on time. I think that's the issue. There's nothing wrong with a team that's freaking 2-13 or 3-13 having a meeting and saying, yo, we need to figure out what's working. There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with that. But what the problem is when what was said in the meeting gets out to the to the world. Because if that was the case, they should have just held the meeting in the press conference, you know?
yeah. I mean, I remember the Mavs last year. They were on a losing streak, and they held a players only meeting, and they called out Luca, and I'm sure it released because I
Mhm.
heard about it that they called out Luca for the way he was playing on defense and stuff, and that's when they turned it around a bit and kind of made a run. Um, but this is so early on in the season. I don't really feel the same way that you do, that it's like because of that it's over, because
Mhm.
those kind of things are required, but yeah, it shouldn't have been leaked. um yeah, I mean, I think either they're gonna mm, be in the play-in and
Mhm.
lose, or sneak in as a 7 or 8. That's my
Okay.
thinking.
Okay. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how you feel about like Joel Embiid this season, but like on the court, he doesn't even look the same anymore, brother. I mean, his first game back against the Knicks, he only grabbed 3 rebounds. That's not aggressive enough for being the biggest player on the court. His next game was against the Magic. He went 5 of 15 from the field. So you mean to tell me their best player is only getting up 15 field goal attempts in the game? Another example of him not being aggressive enough. The next game after that, he played 31 minutes against the Heat, had 11 points, and guess how many free throw attempts? Zero free throw attempts. There is no excuse for someone that big and that strong to not get any free throw attempts. That tells me you're not being aggressive enough. You're not trying to go inside. You're not trying to score. And I'll finish off with this, brother. Historically, I know that they're 3-13 right now, but historically, no team has ever made the playoffs that started 2-12. So maybe they can make history.
Okay, if you're on that logic, I'm gonna give you another logic later on that you might think I'm stretching on. uh
Ooh, all
Yeah.
right.
If you're on that history logic, I'm gonna give you another history logic. I've been telling you
It,
this whole
you have.
time. You know what? I think you know what I'm
I know
talking
what you're going to talk about. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Do you have
about.
anything to add on the Sixers, brother, or can we move on to the next up or down?
What I will say about Embiid is that I think after that reporter incident, I think he might have rushed to get on the court. I mean, he shouldn't play if he's not healthy. He doesn't look healthy right now. Do you think he's just not healthy, or he's just not good anymore?
No, I don't think he's just not healthy. There's no way he's just not good
Yeah,
anymore.
so yeah, he's just not healthy. That's the
Yeah,
problem. So
yeah.
yeah, well, let's see
Okay.
what
All right, let's see, brother. Let's get to our next up or down. Up or down. Will the Lakers finish as a top 6 seed in the West this year? Up or down?
up. I'm up on it because
Ooh.
I mean,
Cocked.
what I've seen from the Lakers so far, granted last game, it's just, the turnaround of the culture has been drastically different. Of course, one AD injury away and it's all over. Like, you can't do anything with that. Like, I'm gonna be honest, LeBron is the greatest of this generation. He just can't carry like he used to, and we all know that. Um, so, but if AD's injured, yeah, like then I'm super down at it. But he was fairly healthy last season,
He was.
and he's he's been healthy somewhat this season. So, I yeah, I'm up on it because like they've just been, what I've seen out of the Lakers is just drastic, has been drastically different from the Darvin Ham coaching seasons. But I will say they have no bench. They need to upgrade their roster, and I believe they will at some point. So that's why I'm up on it, because if AD's playing like this, then it's just easier for LeBron and company to, you know, just play along him.
Tell him, Eshan. Tell him, man. I'm right there with you, man. I'm up on that as well. And you know what's crazy is I'm a Lakers fan. For I guess anyone out there that didn't know, I have Lakers corner. So come check me out on that if y'all want to get some Lakers, strictly Lakers content. But what I was saying was, what's crazy is I didn't at the start of the season. If you would ask me, hey, do you think the Lakers are going to be a top 6 seed? I would have said no. I didn't think so, because I thought that there was going to be some teams that were going to be better. I thought the Timberwolves were going to be better this season. I thought the Pelicans were going to be better. The
I didn't think
Grizzlies. the king.
Sorry to cut you off. I did not think the Timberwolves were going to be better. Like I don't
Well, I
know
mean,
if I called it, but I don't know if I called it or I told you.
uh,
I said they were not going to be better. I thought there was going to be a regression, and so far there has been. And
there
what I
has.
yeah, so I don't see the Timberwolves as the same team from last year because there's been kind of a let off between the Timberwolves and then the Pacers, which we'll also get to later, right?
Yeah.
They've regressed. And this happened with the Mavs too. When they made the Western Conference Finals, they didn't make the playoffs next year.
Mm.
So I don't know if there's a correlation, but yeah, I did not think the Timberwolves were going to be better.
But
That's what I'm thinking.
but I meant as in a sense of like better because right now we're talking about the Lakers being at the top 6 seed, so better than the Lakers because I
Okay.
think last year or this year they're you can look at the team and say this is a better team than the Lakers. Maybe not right now in this point of the season if you're looking at standings wise, but roster construction wise, playoff wise, I mean I feel like we could all come to terms with that. But I meant it's in the sense of like you know. Will the Lakers finish at the top 6 seed? At the beginning of the season, I would have told you no because, like I said, Timberwolves were going to be better. Pelicans, Grizzlies, Kings, but all these teams that I thought were going to be better than the Lakers so far have not been better than the Lakers. And the team like the Lakers, who I thought was going to struggle, especially out the gate, we we're currently sitting at the 4th seed. We're really well coached, the Lakers. JJ Redick understands X's and O's so well. He doesn't get married to rotations. He has great ATOs. He demands success out of his players, right? He has Anthony Davis playing at an MVP level, 31 points per game, 11 rebounds, 3 assists. He's taking 3-pointers more confidently than I've ever seen him in his career. It reminds me of 2020 AD, the way he's shooting 3-pointers. JJ Redick's unlocked Dalton Connect. He's even found ways of getting a little bit of offensive production from Cam Reddish. The one thing I will say about this Lakers team, when I talk about this Lakers team, is this. As long as you have Anthony Davis and as long as you have LeBron James, you are at least in somewhat of title contenders. I'm not saying that they could be content in the West, but I'm saying if you have those two, because I will die on this ledge, brother. LeBron James and Anthony Davis is the pick and roll is the most unstoppable play in the NBA.
Yeah.
Not a single soul in the NBA can stop it. And if you can now fill them out with shooters around them, i.e. Dalton Connect, i.e. Austin Rivers, and you now can put a coach that can actually coach that team at the helm of that team, there's no way you can't tell me that this team is at least somewhat of a contender. I'm not saying that I have this team going all the way. No. But I'm just saying, if you have LeBron James, you have Anthony Davis, and you have a coach that can understand how to coach that, there's no way that this team is not somewhat of a contender. But my only fear with the Lakers is we are one LeBron James rolled ankle away from being a bottom barrel of the league team.
It's either LeBron or AD. It's
Yeah,
LeBron, AD, or bust, basically.
agreed.
Uh, you said Austin Rivers earlier, so
Oh,
I was
I said my fault. I said I meant
yeah.
Austin Reeves.
But do you like what you're seeing from Reeves? Because I'm not really. Been he's kind of been ass this season.
Damn, I wouldn't say last game was ass for sure. I wouldn't say ass, but he's definitely taking a step back comparatively to what we.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's taking a step back, and I'm not. I don't know. You know how I feel about D'Lo, or how
Oh,
everyone feels about D'Lo. But you're a D'Lo type of guy because I understand from your perspective, he is that ball handler type of player that
yes,
will get an offense going. But some like what I saw from him against the Magic, it's just he was just tucking some threes up that probably lost him the game. But it was a bunch of things that lost him the game.
I agree. I
Yeah.
absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Okay, brother. Well, okay, so we're both up on that Lakers one being the top 6 seed. Do you have anything else you want to add on the Lakers, brother? Or you go with that?
If they make a piece no, sorry, not make a piece, if they trade a
Trade.
piece to in the trade deadline and get something, I still feel like you guys need a center, bro. Like
Yes,
the AD can't play center all the time, even though he said he wants to, right? But it's just at some point, he's gotten injured probably pretty much every season playing center, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Besides last season.
and not only that, brother, but and in 2020 when we had our most success, go ahead and look at that team. AD did not have to play the center because we had two other centers on the team.
Yeah.
And it's so
So
that's the one thing that really pisses me off about Lakers front office. It's like you guys know the blueprint. You guys see what's worked. Why in the world are you going away from it? I know why. It's because Genie cares about that money. Genie cares about Benjamin Franklin.
you can't. I mean, the Mavs. Like, I'm not gonna say like they found him, but they got Gafford, man. You know how they revitalized Gafford's career, and he's not like a max type of player.
Straight up. Straight
Like
up.
I, yeah, I didn't know Gafford was gonna be this good. I mean, it's not like he's an all star, but he's like a he changes the team.
He changes the game for the Mavs. He takes the Mavs from not contenders to contenders with his
Yeah,
role
and
on that
he's
team.
not even he's a role player. Like maybe
Exactly.
not even a role player. He's not that good. He only averages like 8 points and 5 rebounds, bro.
But those are some important ass rebounds, has some great screens. Like, yeah, he
Yeah,
does a
man.
lot. I
So
like effort. So
one center, like you're not gonna win with Christian Coloco, bro.
come on,
Yeah,
man. Come on, man. That's not even being real, man. Come on, brother.
I would have rather had seen Wendy and Gabriel on the roster than Coloco.
Man, I would have rather seen who's that dude that Bismack Biombo. I was about to say, bro, he ended up getting picked up last season off the vet minimum. He went to OKC.
Yeah, maybe if you had like a Chris Boucher or something, I don't know. He's been pretty
Boucher.
solid for
He has been
Toronto.
solid. He has
Yeah,
been solid.
but yeah, I still think you guys need another center and get the hell rid of Gabe Vincent, bro.
Oh my god. Get rid of him. But anyway, let's talk about this right here. Because you talked about the Pacers earlier, right? I want to get into it. I want to talk about the Pacers.
Yeah,
They're really struggling right now. They're sitting at the 10th seed. But last year, we just seen them make an incredible Cinderella run to the Eastern Conference Finals. So my question to you, Ishan, is up or down? Was the Pacers run last year a fluke? Was it a one-hit wonder?
yeah, I'm down on it. I thought it was a one hit wonder because I don't know how else to explain, but I don't think that they're that team honestly because they've looked very bad defensively. I don't know if it's Matherin coming back and it's just the defense being completely ruined. Tyrese hasn't looked the same. Honestly, Siakam is their best player right now. Uh, or
Yeah.
Siakam or Matherin because Matherin's averaging 20 plus. He's averaging more than Tyrese Halliburton. Um, so and their defense is really really bad. Yeah, they're not scoring as much as they were last season. So that's also part of the problem. But I mean, I know that I said they would beat the Knicks, but like, yeah, no, I'm not liking what I see out of them.
Yeah.
Maybe they can turn it around like next season or something, but they ain't on shit this season.
Man, they are not on nothing this season, brother. Look, they beat the a hobbled Bucks. They should have lost to the Knicks, but then Jalen Brunson got hurt. They faced a healthy Celtics and got smacked. And then now this season, right? Now this season, when they're supposed to have a huge statement season, a huge y'all thought that was just a one hit wonder. No, we're back. Like we're gonna show y'all. And I'm expecting Tyrese Halliburton to lead the charge. And what does he do, bro? Having them one of the most inconsistent seasons of his career so far. 15 points per game, 8 assists. That is his lowest amount of assists he's had since his rookie year. He's shooting a disgusting 29% from the three-point line and 37% from the field. Look, man, the body of the snake always follows what the head does. And the head is Tyrese Halliburton. And right now, that head is too inconsistent, man. Too inconsistent.
I mean, I never thought he could be the best player on a championship team. I don't know if you thought that, but
He's gonna have to be
yeah,
for them to do so, for them to be able to be good. They've built this team around Tyrese. So if that's what you're gonna do, he's got to be the guy, right?
he didn't even. What did he average? He didn't even average 20 points last season, right? Or past 20.
I think he averaged like I think he averaged like 18 or something like that. I'm gonna confirm that.
Yeah, so I don't like you can't have your best player not averaging 20 plus.
Yeah.
And it's the lowest, like you said, he's not even averaging that many assists. Um, so yeah, bro, like I don't think Tyrese Halliburton can be your best player. And I've been saying Siakam is their best player right now. Honestly, if Siakam stuck it out in Toronto, oh, actually no, that's wrong because they would not have RJ Barrett and Quick over there if Siakam was still there.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, they did have him. No, they did.
Wait. You no, RJ came from the Knicks.
Yeah, so they still had that same roster. Oh, wait, what did they trade Siakam for?
Siakam wasn't he Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown.
Yeah, okay, dude. Yeah,
Which yeah.
he could have stayed on Toronto and they would have had a better chance, I feel like. Because Siakam he probably wanted to do win now, and I don't know why he chose Indiana. I'm sure there were other spots for him to choose. Um long term. I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like he was better off staying in Toronto, honestly, because
I
Toronto is looking
yeah.
all right. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not good, but they're rebuilding. That's the part of the process, and they could be good in a couple of years. I mean, they're playing kind of solid right now. They just
Yeah.
beat Minnesota and they just beat Indiana.
Shout
Uh,
out RJ. RJ Barrett had a big game against Minnesota. But all right, no, I'm right there with you, brother. Pacers definitely had a one-hit wonder last year, and they're not making it happen this year. And for this one, this next up or down, I'm giving you the lob, brother. I'm giving you the lob. So here you go. I feel like Dwayne Wade, and I want you to be like LeBron James and dunk it because you told me you wanted to talk about this, brother. I don't believe in this at all, but I know you do. So here we go, brother.
oh
Up
boy.
or down? Are the Warriors title contenders this year?
Dude, the history is pointing to it again and again and again. The roster doesn't make any sense, but the way they're playing, I don't get it, man. And Kendrick Lamar just dropped another album. I don't know if
I
you've
heard. I
seen.
haven't listened to it yet. I heard it.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
dropped.
it's. I haven't listened to it either, but I saw not now, but I've been known that every season Kendrick Lamar drops his album, the Warriors win the title every time. I'm gonna send you this article later because I literally saw it last night, bro. Um, every season he's released an album, they've won a title, and I told you about the record part two. Every season they start 10-2 or an 11-3. They made the finals every single year. So the history is kind of pointing to it. And I told you about the Hawaii training camp as well. I don't know if you
Yes,
remember.
you do tell
Last
that.
time the Warriors were in Hawaii for training camp, they won the finals.
Damn. I
Not
mean,
this was in the Rick Barry era, but yeah, I mean that's a
yeah,
stretch.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I hear
They,
you.
they were in the training camp in Hawaii with Rick Barry, and they won the title that year. So all the history is pointing to that, but I don't know. With this roster, you never know. But dude, they look good right now. That's all I must say.
They absolutely do look good right now, and I'll give you all the credit in the world for that because you have been calling this since early in the season that they look really good. But to be a contender, that's
Yeah.
top man.
You,
So
you
here's where I'm. Go ahead.
sorry, you definitely need luck to go your way. Um, maybe yeah, some injury will help them out. Like I don't obviously no one wants injuries, but like every title contender has played an injured team.
Yeah,
I would feel like yeah, we just saw Boston cruise through the East last year with injured teams. So it's just all part of luck and everything, bro. Like you know how it goes. It's just if it's your year, if it's your year, then
it's about luck, but there's another thing that it's about, brother. It's about matchups. So check this out. Look, to be a contender, you have to be able to compete in the 7-game series because you have to get through the playoffs. And to be able to compete in that 7-game series in the playoffs, you're going to have to compete with top teams within your conference. And playoffs is all about matchups, right? So let's look at some of the teams in the West and some of the matchups that the Warriors could potentially face. Denver. Let's say they face Denver. Look,
Yeah, they can
they
beat
don't.
them.
What the? No,
I'm
they
telling you,
can't.
they can beat Denver.
No,
But
they can't.
both,
Matchup.
man, I'm telling you, this is not the same Denver team.
Agreed. This is not the same Denver team, but you have to have that big to somewhat slow down Jokic. You have to have those players to send towards him. It's but every single time any team has ever tried to play Jokic straight up 1-on-1, it just doesn't work. Especially with Trace Jackson Davis.
Yeah,
Especially with Trace Jackson Davis.
uh, this is like this kind of reminds me of the same Nuggets team that the Warriors played, even though there was no Jamal Murray. But Jamal Murray doesn't look that good to start the season, anyways. And you know how I feel about Russ. I don't know how you feel about Russ, but he's not a winning type of guy. Uh,
But I feel you, but I've already told you they're not
yeah,
running the team around him though. So
yeah,
it's
but
like I hear you.
just his presence out there. Like I saw this Mavs game, they were just leaving Russ open for
And
threes.
he was making y'all
Yeah, okay.
pay.
But that's that's the point. The Mavs won because of that. In hindsight, they let Russ go off, so Jokic wouldn't. I mean, Jokic still went off. Don't get me wrong, but
Mm-hmm.
they didn't let Jamal Murray go off as well, and MPJ didn't go off. I mean, he had 17, but he didn't go too crazy.
Yeah,
So,
brother. I don't know, brother. Look,
and,
let me just land this plane real quick on this take because look, at the end of the day, like I said, it comes down to matchups, and I just don't think in that 7-game series that the Warriors will be able to match up with Denver. But I hear what you're saying. The Denver's not the same team. I don't think that the Warriors will be able. I think they're a better team than the Lakers in a one-off game. But in a 7-game series, that changes things. The
yeah,
ball is going to be in LeBron James's hands every single time in a 7-game series. So I don't think the Warriors can match up with the Lakers because of
I
that.
don't even.
The Anthony Davis. I don't think the Warriors can match up with Oklahoma City Thunder. Not only does Oklahoma City Thunder have a better front court, but they have a better back court.
I think they
Um,
can because Chet's out for the year. Most likely that it says they beat the Thunder without Chet. So I mean, I know it's
seven
just
game
one.
series.
Yeah, but still, man, it's experience. You know, Luca has
Experience is real. Absolutely.
it's Luca had a little experience, and they beat the Thunder in 6. So, and you know the type of experience the Warriors have. It's
Yes.
all about experience and right matchups. So, in I never even thought the Thunder were that kind of team. You know, like
Mm.
I never thought they were legit, but I did say they would make the first seed again. But I don't think it's gonna happen if Chet's out for the whole season, which he
If Chet
probably
if
is.
if Chet's out for the whole season, that does change a little bit, but I still would think the Warriors would have a little bit of a hard time with Hardenstein, but granted, not as hard of a hard time with Jokic and
Yeah,
AD. But also another team that you might not agree with this, another team that I think the Warriors will struggle with. That is the Mavs because the Mavs have multiple bigs to throw at Trace Jackson Davis, and they have Luka in that backcourt and Kyrie. The Warriors are going to struggle guarding that backcourt. The common theme that I'm trying to get at between the Lakers, Oklahoma with Chet, um, Timberwolves, and the Mavs is that they have dominant as bigs who can at least either man the paint or have multiple bigs to be able to control that game. And the Warriors will have no response for that. And it's all about matchups. So that's one reason why I'm down on that. But I
I
do think
don't
they're
know.
gonna be good.
Yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but Curry is not even playing good to start the season. Like
Yeah.
he's barely averaging 20, right?
Mhm.
And they've gone 11-3, right?
Yeah.
He has not played good at all. I just feel like the depth they have is, has been really good to start. Again, yeah, the centers is an issue, but they played small ball the whole season when they won the
But
ring.
hold on though. But hold on. The league was
Looney,
small. But the league was
yeah,
small. The league was small. The league is
yeah,
not small anymore. The league is now big. So yes, they did win small ball, but the entire league was small. So it made sense.
yeah, it didn't make sense, but you know, Looney was completely out the rotation last season,
Yeah.
and he's kind of found a way back in the rotation this season. So, and Trace Jackson Davis has emerged. I'm not saying like Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that they're gonna win, but the history is pointing to it.
Okay.
So
I respect
yeah,
it. I respect it.
uh,
I respect it. All right. Well, brother, do you have anything else you want to add for the Warriors here, or do you want to
you
move
know the
on?
league's gonna try to get Steph or LeBron their fifth ring, bro.
Nah, come
So
on, man. Let's see
yeah,
it. I hope it's LeBron, but all
yeah.
right, brother. My last up or down here for you is, can Franz Wagner be a 1A type of player in this league?
I'm not gonna go recency bias. Yeah, I know he's putting up 30 plus a game without Paulo, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think he can.
Okay. Okay.
Uh,
Look,
and I'm not. And I'm saying that when he's dropping 30 plus without Paulo, I don't think he's that type of player to be a 1A. Definitely a
man.
1B.
Okay.
Um, I just think Paulo has more of a ceiling. Um, Granted, he definitely needs to like develop that jumper just as much as Franz does. Uh, but I think Paulo has a higher ceiling. What do you?
Okay, so I agree with that. Like I'm not saying that Franz should be a 1A over Paulo. Like I'm just saying, can he be a 1A anywhere in this league? Yes, I do think Paulo is 100 times better than Franz, and he should be the guy that they build his team off of. But at the same time, as far as answering the is Franz a 1A, I do think he's a 1A. He has 1A type potential because I know it's a small sample size, and I'm not just talking about just as of late, right? But if you want to look at the as of late, like Paulo's missed games since November 1st. That's 12 games. The Magic are 7-5 in that stretch. And Franz, since Paulo's been out, some numbers real quick: 17 points, 22, 28, 27, 23, 32, 29, 31, 32, 37. He can do a little bit of everything out there. He's a legit 6'10 point guard. Like he can score on all three levels. I know you say he doesn't shoot a three ball, uh, but he's right now shooting it at a 35% clip, which is better than league average.
Yeah,
He's shooting at 30. He's scoring 23 points per game, which is a career high on 47% from the field. He can bring the ball up court. Like I've seen him oftentimes bring the ball up court and initiate the offense. He can make the pass out of the post. He's not a liability on defense. So, I mean, look, I know it can look like a bit of a stretch, and I'm not saying on the Magic, but I do think that Franz Wagner has 1A type potential.
I know they've won 6 out of their last 7 games, but yeah, I mean, like I get what you're trying to say. He could be a 1A, but is it gonna be conducive to winning though? That's my question. Right now they're winning, but it's
That's
not.
real.
You know how the playoffs are.
That's
It's a
real.
whole different beast in the playoffs. So he could be 1A for maybe like
A bottom
uh,
barrel team.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
real.
but yeah, I don't think they can win anything with him being a 1A. But if you get Paulo and Franz, that's a different story.
Whole different story.
So
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, did I say was it or did I say before the season that Orlando would be really good this season?
I
Did
don't know, but I know I said they'd be a top three seed. I
I
think we
I
both
do
agreed on
too.
that.
Yeah, and I said Memphis. I told you about Memphis. It's just
Yes, Memphis.
unfortunate.
They just keep getting hurt.
I think Memphis can actually make a run and be good enough to be in a top 3 seed because they're so good, man. I really like what I see out of Memphis. They beat. Granted, I know it's Philly, but no John Morant. They beat Philly. They beat Denver. They beat Milwaukee. I mean, they beat some notable teams. I mean, Milwaukee's not that good right now, but they're kind of catching fire as of late. But they beat all these teams without Ja. And correct me, sorry, they beat Milwaukee with Ja. But yeah, I mean, they have somewhat of a good roster. They don't have GG Jackson right now, who is a bucket. But I'm not saying he's gonna like GG Jackson's like turning around for y'all. But
I'm right there with you. Honestly, I think it's really unfortunate about Memphis because this is their second year in a row where they're just been riddled with injuries over and over and over. And yeah, once they get a chance to put it together, they're gonna scare a lot of teams in the league and remind a lot of teams in the league of that run they were on like 2 years ago, I believe it was.
yeah, I mean, just think about it. You got a Jaw, you got Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Jaron Jackson, Zach Edey. That's one hell of a defensive lineup.
Yes, that is a
Like,
great
just think
defensive
about
weapon.
that. And yeah, I mean, and you got Vince Williams Jr. played really good. So does Gigi Jackson
Yeah,
last season. Um, Scottie Pippen Jr. has been balling this season.
yeah.
So I mean, I really like Memphis's line squad right now.
Yeah, no, I feel you, brother. I
Yeah,
feel you. All right, bro. Well, then, I feel like this is a good place for us to go ahead and start to wrap it up, my brother. We got into a lot, man. We talked about the Pacers, talked about Warriors title contending, Lakers, got into some injuries around the league, All Star, and definitely we touched on your Dallas Mavericks. So, my brother Eshawn, I want to thank you for coming on here to show with us, blessing us with your knowledge, your takes. For the family out there, this is not going to be the last time y'all see Eshawn. He will be a reoccurring face here on the show. But Eshawn, I got to give you the floor. Is there any last things you want to say before we get on out of here?
uh, not really. I'm just thank you for having me on. Every time I get a chance to talk hoop with you, it's like it's great because since the last time I was on your show, I didn't have that much of a hoop knowledge, but I feel like it's gotten a lot better. That's why you're talking more hoop with me now because I think you feel like I have a bit more hoop knowledge. So anytime I get a chance to talk hoops with you, it's great. So I just want to thank you for having me on.
Facts,
Yeah,
brother. No need to thank at all. We will be seeing Eshawn soon again. For everybody out there, man, make sure you guys show love to my social medias. Everything will be linked in the description down below: TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. But for now, I'm out of here, y'all, and I hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all weekend.
take
Peace.
care, guys.